Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello everybody, Lewis, Norwich City Central. Hope everyone is doing well. Back after a break against Burnley, went to the New Forest on holiday. It was absolutely lovely. I'm very pleased to see Norwich City get a 2-1 win over Burnley. Goals through Grant Hanley and Josip Dermich, and that means Norwich City are in the last 16 of the FA Cup and could potentially go away to Tottenham, so that's very exciting. But now Norwich City must turn their attentions back to the league, coming up against Newcastle United. And with 14 games to go, Norwich City are 6 points adrift and time is running out, and Norwich City really need to get a win against Newcastle, who have turned their fortunes recently under Steve Bruce. But Newcastle, I think, have got the worst expected goal ratio out of any team in the league, and their wins do suggest they are getting perhaps a bit lucky. But players like Almiron are very dangerous, and Newcastle are starting to score some goals. But this is going to be my predicted XI for the team to face Newcastle. In goal, Tim Krul. I thought Ralph Fairman played very well against Burnley, but Tim Krul's our number one and should stay that way. I think he'll be a contender for player of the season. Right back, Max Aarons. I thought he put in one of his best performances against Tottenham, and he's really starting to flourish now. Very athletic, and we should keep him in the January. We should keep him in this window. I'm not sure if we're keep him in the summer though. A fantastic young talent. The two centre backs, Christoph Zimmerman and Grant Hanley. Grant Hanley coming off the back of a goal against Burnley. And out of Grant Hanley and Christoph Zimmerman, I think Grant Hanley's been the better one in the last month. I think he's been aggressive in the air. I think he's won a lot of his duels, and I think he's been more of a leader than Christoph Zimmerman, which is surprising. Ben Godfrey, this is his second game he's going to be out for, obviously getting a needless red card against Bournemouth. But Grant Hanley and Christoph Zimmerman, it could be an interesting partnership. And I think they're both okay, but if you're looking back, and Stuart Webber's biggest regret will probably be perhaps not signing a centre-back, because at the back we're probably leaking probably too many goals. And Grant Hanley used to play for Newcastle as well. Left back, Sam Byram. Been really impressed with Sam Byram. For whatever reason, the summer transfer window didn't really work out for Norwich City. I mean, I can't really blame Stu Webber too much because he saved Norwich City Football Club. Of course, on so many occasions, his brilliant transfers got us up to the Premier League. And looking back at his transfer business, it did look like okay on reflection, but obviously the likes of Patrick Roberts, Ralph Fairman haven't really been given a chance in the first team. But Sam Byram's definitely been the best transfer, and he looks really, really good. And if we do get relegated to the Championship, he'll be a really good player there. Two central defensive midfielders, Alex Tettey. I really like Amadou, but I just don't think he's going to be given a chance. And there are reports, recorded this video obviously before the press conference, but there are reports that he might be leaving. So Amadou might not even be a Norwich City player come the time we play Newcastle. So Alex Tettey's got to come in for me. And you look at Alex Tettey, he's a good player, but that's probably another area we should have strengthened the central defensive midfielder. Alongside Alex Tettey, for me, it has to be Mario Rancic. I was one of Mario Rancic's biggest fans last season. And obviously this season he's had a lot of injuries, and when he's come in, he's done well, but sometimes I think if you look at Manchester United, he was a rabbit in the headlights. But for me, Mario Rancic is one of Norwich City's best players. He's one of our best technical players. And Mario Rancic, I think, is good defensively. Obviously, he hasn't got necessarily pace, but he's got a good defensive work rate. And going forward, he's got a great eye for a pass. He was excellent against Burnley. Some of the range of passes were absolutely fantastic. And I hold the opinion he's one of the best Norwich City midfielders in a long while. I just think what he can do, he can be decisive in moments, great on free kicks, can score important goals. He's key from now to the end of the season. We've got to get him in the team. He's got to be a first team player, and he might be able to nick Norwich City some points like he did in the Championship last season. Three players in front of them. Todd Cantwell on the left. He's been absolutely fantastic. He's particularly been better at home. I think he's just scored the one away goal, which was decisive against Everton. But Todd Cantwell's a fantastic young talent, and he's someone who needs to be supported by the Norwich City crowd. He's been excellent. Duda, central attacking midfielder. He's come in and he's had a lot of football for Norwich City straight away. I think he's done well. I really liked him against Bournemouth. I think from the early signs, he definitely looks a step up from Kenny McLean and Marcus Stuberman. It was a good bit of business. It adds a bit of quality, which we didn't have in that area, and hopefully he can go on and score some goals. Emi Buendia on the right. Hasn't scored a goal this season, but has been one of Norwich City's best players. Breathtaking footballer, creates so many chances. his range of passing, his dribbling, the tackles he wins. He's a phenomenal player, and we need to save for him, because even if Norwich City were to stay up in the Premier League, I'm not sure Emi Buendia would stay at Norwich. He's a fantastic footballer. And Timu Pukki up front, he's scored a couple of goals now, hasn't he? He's scored 2 penalties against Bournemouth and against Tottenham, and hopefully he can continue his goal-scoring abilities. And with the like of Emi Buendia, Todd Cantwell behind him, then there's definitely an opportunity for him to have chances, and let's hope he can bury them, because Norwich City this season have had some really good chances, particularly in the first half, and we haven't taken them all, and that's come back to bite us. So against Newcastle, it's going to be a tough game. Newcastle are quite good at St James's Park, and they are improving in terms of their results. But Norwich City, if we can show good game management and we can be clinical and be really good in both boxes, there's always a chance. Score prediction: I'm gonna back a Norwich City victory. It's gonna be a tough game, of course, but I feel like we might be able to nick it 2-1. And coming off the back of a good result against Burnley, we can do it. Goals through, I think Duda's gonna get his first goal, and Timu Pukki. Love to hear your thoughts down below. What team would you play against Newcastle? Time is running out for Norwich, 6 points adrift, and all the teams like Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Brighton, Watford are all turning their fortunes around, and Norwich City need to be sure not to be left behind, because they've got some tough games after this. Thanks for hearing my thoughts. Subscribe to Norwich City Central if you're new, and I'll see you later.